Hey everybody, welcome to SuperHouse once again. So this week we have a very special guest. This is WorldOfMera on Instagram. Check out her page. She's one of the top, maybe the top Mera fan account and Aquaman fan account maybe as well on Instagram. She's calling in for the first time. It's her first podcast ever, and she's calling in from New Zealand. There's a little bit of static on her end. We're going to try to clean that up, but just as a warning going into this, be prepared for a little bit of static from her, and that's it. So let's take it away.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Welcome to SuperHouse, everybody. This is Andrew, as always, and I'm once again joined by...
This is Ben Wan, the man who knows too much about Batman.
And
this Wolfie, they feed me sometimes.
Only sometimes, not this time.
My water dish is empty.
All right, and this week we have a very special guest. We've been long-time Instagram friends. She's Instagram famous, everybody. This is WorldOfMera. Can we use your first name?
Oh my god, yes, of course. Hello, guys. You said Simone, guys. Yep.
Simone, everybody.
Well,
thanks for coming on, Simone.
Oh my god, guys. I was like, I got the text and like, we're starting the podcast in 54 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, like, here we go, like, oh yeah, but no, really, thank you for having me. This is great.
Oh, no problem. It's great having you on, and you're calling in from New Zealand, correct?
Yes, I am.
So when did you start the WorldOfMera account?
Maybe early 2016, end of 2015. It wasn't actually WorldOfMera to begin with. So I was hopping around accounts, you know, when you start to join fandoms and you're trying to test things out. So actually, admittedly, before I was WorldOfMera, I was actually a CW account.
Nice.
And I don't like it. I don't actually like admitting that to a lot of people. I've had so many mixes.
So did it start as just a personal account to begin with? Just your shared interest kind of thing?
Yeah. So it was just sort of like because I got into Flash season 1, and so I was a huge Iris fan, and so you know I started this whole account based around
World
Iris
of Iris.
And I was like, no, this is kind of boring. And at the time, I was reading it along Aquaman 52 and Shazam New 52. I was getting into those titles at the time, and so when I found Mera again after, because I hadn't read her since probably Black Aside at that point. I was just like, oh my god, and then I ran back into all of her stuff, and then I was just like, oh my god, yes, 2016 or whatever year it was. It's just like, it's all about Mera, and then thank goodness Zack Snyder came out, so and then put her on the cinematic platform, which helped that over the last 3 years. So
yeah,
nice.
It's been a long time. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I think I've been following you for a year and a half or longer, probably.
My mom saw Mera on screen and she said, I want to be her.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
Powerful. So could I ask a question? I'm looking at your page right now, all these images. Are you just like constantly on the hunt, or is your stream just inundated with the DC lifestyle? Would you call it a lifestyle?
At the moment, I do not have a thing. Like when Aquaman was like building up to its release, you know, I had a thing and it was quite structured. Now at the moment, I'm sort of just like bouncing around, saying like, oh, I like that. I'll just post this. It's not actually any sort of structure. I'm actually sort of going on a whim here, but I've been indulging in a lot of horror comics at the moment. So I've been in the comic store a lot. I've actually impulsively bought DC Collectibles CoverGirl Batgirl. The other day. I just walked in there and I was just like, yeah, so that's been on the shelf for about a year. I think I'll just buy it, yeah.
Nice. You got to go with those gut instincts for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I sort of live and breathe more of the comic collectible space, outside of social media. But yeah, inside social media, there's definitely a lot more about the cinematic area. Although, admittedly, over the years, I've always said that I just don't know anything about film, so I just stand everything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, people are mad at me for liking Endgame so much, but I don't know.
And do you do some of the design for these graphics as well that you put up?
Yeah. So I've
looks
been
good.
working. Yeah, I've been working with one of the Nyat studios. So I did like a, what do you call those things? Kickstarter, where it was about Hulk, that character. I don't know if you know about him. I was posting about him for a bit. And so because they do like a lot of animated studio work overseas and stuff, I was like, I don't need you guys to pay me. I just need you guys to teach me about Photoshop. Like,
That's awesome. Yeah. Some of these posts are really very striking.
yeah, well, it's really weird, like trying to go into this because I'm not a very creative person in terms of like formats and stuff. I kind of just like clean, sort of format. So it's kind of fun to be able to go in and learn how to do all these things. They're teaching me how to make a logo. I thought that logo was kind of straightforward, but apparently not.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird psychology behind them.
It's not as easy as it seems.
What do you mean there has to be like 32 layers? What are layers? Like,
Yeah, it's madness.
I was total noob. I was just like, can we not just do all of this on Pixar? They're like, no.
So you started the World of Mera account. It had nothing to do with the upcoming Aquaman movie. You were just a fan of Mera from the comics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because oh man, I think I said it really, really early when I started the account that I actually wasn't, and I don't like saying it now, but I wasn't actually the biggest like fan of Jason Momoa's casting when it was first announced. I wasn't actually the biggest fan, and so because I had gotten back into comics and stuff, I wasn't really. It wasn't that I didn't ever like Aquaman, but every time that I was pulled into his comics, it was Mera was around. She was always that stronger presence in those stories. Even when I read Brightest Day, I loved Brightest Day just because of Mera's story, and then seeing Zvel or Zebel, how you want to say it. But yeah, so it was a bit of like back and forth. At first, I was only posting comics, like there was no cinematic anything. I think the first thing I ever posted was Zack Snyder's first post about Emma being casted as Mera. And then from there, like, all of the big cinematic accounts turned up, and I was just like, oh, okay, we're going in this direction. Yeah. I did sort of do like comic facts to begin with, but then like, because Mera, even though she's actually been around since like the 60s and stuff, she hasn't actually had like a lot of those like sort of iconic moments. So I didn't want to like sort of redo facts over and over again. But I'm hoping that since now that she's a big thing, we can go back into comics more. And since I'm actually writing for the Nerdy Basement at the moment, it's actually quite cool because I get to venture out into all of these kind of comics. Like as I said, I'm in horror comics right now, so that's sort
cool.
of, Mera definitely has opened a lot more in terms of comics and stuff for me. I was sort of like that typical fan that kind of just like watched the animated series to begin with, and thought I was like, yeah, I'm cool, but yeah, I'm cool now. Yeah.
Nice.
So what is it about the DC characters that you like over the Marvel ones? Since obviously this is a lot of you have a lot of DC posts.
In terms of, I don't prefer DC characters. Like, I love Marvel just as much, and I think the characters are just as amazing. But I think it's just because DC has such sort of like a wider. I don't want to say wide because like, I think Marvel's sort of just as wide, but like the sort of expansion that you can get out of DC is just so much larger in my eyes than Marvel, and even with the MCU, and I love the MCU, absolutely love the MCU, but these are all like real life threats. And I do like to go sort of venture into that sort of like more fantasy sci-fi kind of thing, especially in comics. So I think that's what pulls me into DC a lot more. And there's so much more lore that I feel like comes out of DC, even like even speaking of real life, or not necessarily real life, but you've even got, ancient histories behind it. You've definitely got like War of Realms and Thor inside Marvel, but I don't know, it just seems a lot bigger to me in DC. And I like how sort of DC, I like it, but I don't like it because it's sort of like they are a lot more playful with the sort of themes that go into their stories, and they're a lot more like adventurous with what goes on. Sometimes it doesn't play out, and a lot of the times it happens. But you know, I like the risk. I like the risk that are taken in DC. So
Yeah.
How'd you feel about Amber Heard's performance as Mera?
Oh yeah! Oh come on, guys! You know I love it. I love it. It's absolutely perfect.
It should have been called Mira, in my opinion.
It's just like, come on. I remember when like people like were coming out after Justice League, and you know, with all that whole Justice League debacle either way, but people were like Mera was the best part of Justice League, and I'm like, I know, like it was amazing. Like she was absolutely amazing. Just so strong, and I was just so happy that like while Amber, you know, was really using this character to sort of like get herself higher in the game, she also really let the character stay true to herself. So, you know, I had a lot of respect for Amber going into Aquaman and Justice League. So, yeah, I was really happy about it, despite, you know, the Johnny Depp fans say. Yeah.
Right.
He's just an old fart anyway.
Do we want to get into that? Maybe not.
He hasn't even.
I like him.
He hasn't even been in a movie. What was the last movie he was in?
Fantastic
He
Beasts.
was in
You can't even think
and I love that. No,
I read today
that.
that he had an earpiece in for the last Pirates of the Caribbean, and they just fed him his lines
I'm on
because
Amber's
he
side.
does not care anymore.
Yeah. I'm on no one's side. I'm on Mira's side.
He's been hanging out with Manson too much.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
I'm just kidding. I don't know any of that's true.
I saw him on TMZ. I'm mad at him.
Yeah,
You're mad.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
mad at Depp. Okay.
Fake news.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Was there a certain point at which your Instagram really blew up, or did it just slowly increase over time?
So, oh my God, I remember TC does comments, and I can't remember his username back then, but I remember he put out this post, and it was really funny because he was talking about how there were those sort of accounts that blow up really, really fast, but then they sort of like stagnate at one point, and then those are those accounts where they sort of take time, but they keep, you know, consistently going.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of like what happened with my account. There were actually quite a lot of bursts, especially sort of closer to around like, you know, 10K points. Like 10K was a huge blow up for the account. I can't remember how many people reposted it. I remember when Real World of Flash posted it on his story, and it just went like absolutely viral. That was crazy. And so after like 10K, it actually did stay quite consistent. You know, I think for about from 10K to about 20K, I was pretty much getting like 1,000 followers every like, you know, 48 hours. It was actually quite consistent. It was really, really fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I bet. That's
really,
awesome.
Really, yeah. And it was really exciting to welcome all the Aqua fam into, you know, the Aqua fan space. It was real cool to build that community. So, yeah, never really like cared about how many followers there was. I just like, you know, hope that because it was sort of like to be, you know, the sort of follower you wanted to be. I think that's what got them in. Yeah. And also Amber, because she's just amazing. And Mera, like, it's Mera, like, come on.
I mean, I don't do much digging, but a lot of the images here I've never seen before. They're pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
These guys are waiting for me to say something
It's profound.
more profound.
Profound, bro. Hey everybody, it's Andrew. I just wanted to tell you about our friend Israel's retro gaming shop, RetroCo. If you go to retro-ko.com, you'll be able to see all of his retro gaming goodies. If you wanted to get that Sega Saturn hidden gem from back in the day, or if you wanted to get the Famicom disk system that you never got as a kid, or any other type of retro game that you were into, or import game, please go to retroco.com. That's retro-ko.com. And if you use the SuperHouse code Johnson's Ballsack, you'll be able to get a little bit of a discount at checkout. So please, once again, if you could just go to retroco.com. You can also go to facebook.com/retroco with no hyphen. That's RETROKO. You'll be able to find him on Facebook as well. If you were looking for that PlayStation import game that you never got, if you were looking for that Mega Drive game that you never got, or any other kind of retro game, any import game. It could even be European. Israel also curates bundles at RetroCo, and he'll curate that bundle just for you. So please go check him out. If you put in the code Johnson's Ballsack at checkout, you'll receive a SuperHouse discount.
But they're you know, it seems like well researched or like well sought out, some of these images and how they're put together and stuff. I love it.
Yeah, well, I've always sort of believed in that, like, even though, like, social media is social media, and depending on what you want to use it for, even if you're not necessarily trying to strive for the highest number of followers, depending what you want out of it, you still sort of have to treat it like a business thing quite seriously. Like, people are always like, oh, how do you talk to blah, 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 how do you talk to blah, 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 how did you get this, how did you get that? And I'm just like, we just treat it like business. Like, I don't just DM this guy being like, no, I don't just DM DC Comics be like, hey, give me free comics, you know.
Right.
It's a whole process. So there's actually quite a lot more than just posting on the Instagram site than there, you know.
You inspired me. I'm going to get on my Hanna-Barbera Instagram.
Hanna-Barbera.
Get that back up and running.
There's so much more going on in the background. People think it just happens, and I'm just like, no way, guys. Like,
wacky races, man. Anyway.
Wow. Wacky races. Wacky Raceland.
We have more questions.
Okay.
good. Because, yeah, I'm not good at questions.
So problem. So this, I was in, you know how Momoa is all about oceanography? He really is. And how, like, there's a definite connection with the ocean, with people from Hawaii. So I was wondering, is that kind of thing the same for you being in New Zealand? Like, you have like an affinity for the ocean, and does that sort of connection help you to become even more of a fan of Mera and Aquaman?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I absolutely loved what Jason and Zach did with sort of using Jason's culture and applying it really well in terms of, you know, his tattoos on his arms and sort of keeping the greenstone or pounamu on his, you know, as a necklace. You know, I really liked all those like small insertions of culture, and it was really, really nice to see, especially because over in New Zealand, you know, we definitely push this whole clean green scheme, and, you know, we're all about saving the environment, and even culturally, the people that are from the land, myself, we all do have a connection with the ocean. So it was really nice to see, especially because not only is he doing it in the movies, he's actually carrying it on outside. You know, he's using his success and his fame from Aquaman and Justice League, and he's using it in the real world. So, you know, I definitely commend him for that. And especially how he did the haka at the Aquaman premiere. You know, it's so powerful. It's really, really great to see, and it was really nice because a lot of the things that they inserted into Aquaman was actually from New Zealand. It wasn't actually Hawaiian. So that was really nice to see, and, you know, we actually really did value that. And when he came over here to do an interview with like our news guys, you know, he talked a lot about the ocean and stuff. So yeah, I gotta give him props for that. It was great.
Yeah, he studied oceanography at first, and then I looked on his Wikipedia. He changed his major midway to natural wildlife, like to not oceanography, but wildlife or something. But he did have some. His college record does actually have some oceanography in it. Yes,
he's a bro of the fishes from the beginning.
Yeah.
His literal thing, like, master of the ocean. Master.
He's
an ocean master. Are you kidding? Oh my god.
He's an ocean master.
One of his first roles is Stargate Atlantis too.
Stargate Atlantis, yeah.
Yeah. So
yes.
He's been all about it's his destiny.
It's his destiny.
He got killed off in Game of Thrones for a good reason.
Yeah, he was landlocked in that scene.
He was landlocked.
That's why he died.
Who's he gonna call?
He would have made it if there was a fucking body of water nearby. That's for sure.
Oh,
I went out. I did him dirty in that one.
yeah. Oh, man.
So I know that you've been reading a lot of the comics. What storyline from the comics do you think they should bring to the movies, especially ones that haven't been done yet?
Oh, okay. So I think like, I'm not trying to be biased here, but guys, you have to read next week's issue of Aquaman. Like, Aquaman Rebirth right now is seriously like one of like the best titles, and I'm not even kidding. Like, Mera is pregnant. She is about to drop. Okay, spoilers.
Don't even read it.
Like,
All right, I'll get that issue.
it's just serious, like some good stuff. And so it's coming up next week. If you did enjoy Aquaman New 52, I think you will enjoy next week's issue. It's actually quite amazing. Definitely typical Mera, I will say that.
Got it.
So,
All right, we'll check them out. What are your thoughts on Pattinson?
guys, I was like one of the first people to love him, like, because I am a huge fan of, like, Harry Potter, and of course he was in that, and then Twilight. Okay, I don't care. I'm a fan of Twilight, and I will admit that, like, to the end of my days.
This is a safe
and
place.
yeah. So it's just like, it was amazing. I thought, are you kidding? Like, if you know Edward Cullen from Twilight, you know that Robert Pattinson being able to pull off that kind of character can pull off a Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry, like, Bruce Wayne is depressed, but Edward Cullen is just like a whole nother level of depression. Like, so, I don't care. He was, as soon as that casting was made, I was ecstatic. I was through the roof. I was so happy. And what was that movie with Willem Dafoe? Oh, Lighthouse. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Loved it.
No, he's great. He's fantastic with accents as well. So I'm looking forward to finding out what his Batman voice is.
Have you ever been to America?
No.
Okay. Any plans?
I do, and it's like, oh my god, I put off plans to go to America all the time because I end up going somewhere else. But no, I definitely have plans to come to America. I'm trying to get there sort of in the next 2 years. I do have one plan that might go ahead at the end of the year, but it won't necessarily be a holiday. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to visit like a Comic-Con like San Diego or New York?
Oh my god, yeah, guys. Oh my god. So I've always wanted to go. I've never been to a Comic-Con of that size. Like, I've been to Sydney Comic-Con, which is definitely huge, and it's amazing, and I love it. But seeing all like the photos of like Hall H and San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con, I'm like, guys, like, this is some next level stuff. So I'm really, really excited. I hope to go to one soon. That would be so much fun.
San Diego is definitely another level for sure.
Yeah, I've heard that people don't actually like going multiple times. Like, if you don't actually have to go that year, people won't go.
I mean, it's fun, but it's just crowded as hell.
Yeah, that's what I could carry. Like, the lines are ridiculous.
Yeah, and the panels are cool. They are cool, but yeah, you just have to really plan out. You got to get the panel schedule and figure that out, because the exhibits themselves, you can go pretty much any time, but and then the signings too. You kind of have to plan your journey.
I just watched the live stream on Reddit of the crowds going in and coming out.
Yeah,
just
kidding.
I don't know that they do that.
That's all you want to do.
Like, it's like I'm actually there
On the outside.
That's true.
Oh, that guy's
less smelly.
Oh.
How's the community in New Zealand? The geek collector, the nerdy nerddom.
Comic-Cons in New Zealand as well. What are they like?
We don't have like Comic-Cons. We call them Armageddon.
Armageddon?
What?
Yeah.
Cool.
We have FrodoCon.
The community in New Zealand is not really comic based. It's definitely more on the anime side. We love sort of like Asian, Japanese influences over in New Zealand, so there's a lot of that. If you go to Comic-Cons in New Zealand, usually the star guests and stuff are actually from like directors from like anime movies, and like voice actors from anime movies, or certain characters. And there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. I mean, I think we still have Pokemon tournaments. So
wow, that's pretty cool.
Never
we cool.
go away.
No, absolutely not.
Not that I wanted to, but
yeah, no, we got to keep it.
It's a religion.
But, yeah, but we also have like I don't play it, but I know that Magic is still is absolutely huge in New Zealand. Like every time I walk into like a collectible store or even the comic store, there's just like people sitting around playing Magic, and I'm like, what is going on?
I played it in high school for a while. It is fun, but I don't know. It just gets expensive, and then people start making fun of you, and I don't know.
It's a gateway card game to poker, I've heard. If you're just like good at
poker, really?
At cards, yeah. The guy I'm working for currently, he started at Magic, and he just got really good at Magic. He's like, what else can I do? And then he started just making all of his money off of poker. And it had something to do with
poker's not as interesting to me for some reason, though. Yeah, Magic's
different monsters,
got orcs and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's way better.
The closest to like Magic I ever got was, and it's not even a card game, but I don't know. I'm going to put it in the same category. But the closest I ever got to playing something like that was playing RuneScape.
Oh
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
But then I got kicked off for trolling people.
You troublemaker.
That was so much fun, though. Come on, it was great.
And you write for a podcast, or you're going to start podcasting yourself at some point soon?
No. So I'm writing for the Nerdy Basement. They have a podcast and they have a site as well. So I'm only a writer. I told them, I was like, guys, like honestly, me on podcast not the best. Like sometimes, I mean, I don't even know how I'm saying on my point right now. This is absolutely like never happening. So I'm better on typing away than in person and all that.
You have a buffer of anonymity.
What do you write for them exactly, though?
My social life on social media, because I have too much anxiety in person. So.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
But you're not missing much. I have anxiety right now. It sucks.
Yeah.
I left the house and it's
anxiety.
You never know what could happen.
He has anxiety around his mom.
Getting deep here.
All right, and if I could ask something a little bit more specific, you write like their episode plan, or like how do you write for a podcast? I mean, we make bullet points and stuff.
No. So I don't write anything for the podcast.
She writes for the site.
I'll write the article that goes in support of the podcast.
Oh, cool. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Do you get to do like little featured articles, or do they just give you free run to kind of conceptualize what you're going to write about for the site, or is there a plan?
Okay, so like I'm definitely like one of those people that are just kind of like, I mean, again, like business is business, and I'm kind of pushy, so I'm always the one in the chat that's just like, so this is coming out, and I just think that I should be the one to do it,
Yeah, you're the idea person.
Yeah, like I think Business Praise, the movie comes out in New Zealand 2 days earlier, so I was just like, guys, wouldn't it just make sense if I did the review? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I call it strategic.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so there is actually a lot of freedom, and it's definitely a great team. So I don't feel like bombarded. Like I feel like I'm allowed to write an article about how Bucky is the daddy of the MCU. So
nice.
Creative freedom.
Yeah,
which I enjoy.
Kind of broadening the audience and kind of getting the meeting of multiple perspectives.
We stand Bucky.
Yes.
And how did you get involved with the Nerdy Basement?
So yeah, we had just known each other for maybe like 2 years from Instagram, and he just reached out one day. He was just like, "Hey, do you want to write for us?" And I was just like, "Why haven't you ever asked me this? Like, are you kidding? Like, of course I will write for you." Like, yes. And we just
the like plan we went on.
Yeah. I was like, "How dare you take this long?" But it's fine.
That's good. I'm glad you guys connected. That your pages are going well.
I think that's it for me. You guys got any final questions?
How's your day been?
Oh my god.
Fantastic closing question.
I will let you guys know that this is definitely the highlight of my day.
Yeah.
Good.
This is great. I think I needed this.
Mine too. I had a headache up until now, but thanks.
I'm hungry. Am I allowed to say that on this podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Some podcasts don't let you, but we will.
Unfortunately, we can't
I'm
feed
hungry
you from
too.
over here, but here's another closing question then. Who is your favorite Batman?
See, I've always been on the fence about this, and I don't know, like, if it counts. But I think it counts. So my favorite Bruce Wayne is Bale.
Yeah.
Bale.
My
okay.
favorite Batman is actually Affleck.
Nice.
Really?
Ooh.
Wow.
Didn't see
And
that.
I
Controversial.
don't know if we're allowed to distinguish the two, but I do. And I love
For sure.
Bale's, Bruce Wayne is perfect. But oh god, Ben Affleck commits. So how do you say no?
I thought he was a good Batman as well.
He had a good suit too, I thought.
Yeah.
Affleck's suit
He
was
carried
solid.
it well.
Yeah, the best suit.
I won't go
probably.
that far, but
Huh, seems like a part 2 is in order. Okay.
for sure.
Well, thanks for coming on. This has been awesome, and love to have you on again at some point. And this is the beginning of SuperHouse Oceania branch. And
Oceania. Yeah.
Wonderful. Love it. Thank you so much, guys.
all right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. That was WorldOfMera, a.k.a. Simone from New Zealand. It was awesome having her on. If you, too, are Instagram famous, we would love to have you on the SuperHouse podcast, Roots of Swamp Thing, I'm looking at you, and a few others. Please find SuperHouse Podcast on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter. Ben is Ben Juan Writer. We are SuperHouse Pod on Instagram. Ben heads that up. Wolfie is Wolfie Cruz on Instagram. That's WOLFIECRUZZ. Please join the Shasta Army on Patreon.com. That's our $1 tier. We'd also like to give a shout out to Shasta, of course, Matt Herring, Alicia, and Kookie Noms. Thank you again, Simone, for coming on. It was awesome. We once again apologize for the muffled audio. You can also email us at superhousepodcast@gmail.com if you so desire. And I think that's about it. This is Andrew signing off.